Hello everyone, and welcome to the nightly Manor interview. So, I'm really nervous about this. As you can see, we have a lot of guests here. They aren't alive yet, but they will be very soon. So, get your hats on. Let's get ready. Let's give them a call. Well, welcome to SPACErview. It's like Fans Fantastic Features, but the host sucks. So it's gonna be great.
Let's go!
Oh,
Alan, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can
Yes.
hear
Hello?
you. Yay.
You idiot.
This pathetic ass mic. Yeah, there you go.
What is wrong? What the? Bro, what?
What?
This
What?
mic. This mic, bro.
Does it suck right now? Hang on.
It is pathetic.
You're
Putrid.
It's good.
putrid.
No,
God,
no, imagine just don't tell him anything, then he rewatches the fucking interview.
It's not unbearable, you know, it's not bad. You should be golden.
You sound the same quality as everyone else. It's okay.
Yeah. We're all using our dishwashers to talk to
You
each
guys
other.
are lying to me. You guys
I'm
are
not
lying.
Is this live or
No. Just recorded. Don't worry. I'll gather all the information and all the accidental things that you say and put it on Twitter to cancel you all after, you know.
Finally, Brayden, you're fucking done.
What do you mean? Finally, did they have it coming?
Oh, you'll see.
I'm too much of a sweetheart.
What the fuck? Well,
I believe that.
Anyone that says they're a sweetheart usually isn't.
I am.
Oh, I'm a god awful person, guys. I'm like terrible. Does that create some reverse psychology?
Yeah, it's a
where-
reverse psychology. We all think we're great now.
yeah, that's how that works.
He's
Yeah.
being humble.
Self-deprecation has become humble now.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Oh, Alan, you sound
worse.
a lot worse.
What happened?
Yeah,
You
your
sounded
mic is doing that
perfectly-
one thing.
You sounded perfectly fine before. Now you sound like you're underwater.
Okay, are you
It's a
ready
good
for the
one.
first question, Alan?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I'm ready then, yeah.
Okay. So the first question is, with darker themed object shows becoming more popular, how does yours differ and what makes the Nightly Manor special?
Oh. Well, I wouldn't really call it, like, special, but it is definitely different, you know? Because it's just like a spew of whatever ideas I had, like, when I was a little younger. I was like, okay, I'm not very good at making competition shows, and I'm very obviously gonna, like, be really bad at writing it. So I thought of, like, I don't know, what would be the most fun for me to write? And I figured, I think some sort of murder mystery type of show would be good. But I think even then, I don't even think Manor's much of a murder mystery either, since chapter 2 isn't, like, as focused on it anymore. So I guess it's just its own thing, you know? It's just whatever. I don't know. I guess the thing that makes it special would be, like, it's just like a culmination of, like, everything I've wanted in an object show, you know? Something that I wanted to do for, like, years now. And I feel like, you know, I made Object Manor, 5 years ago, and I canceled it after, like, the second episode, because clearly I didn't know what I was doing. I don't know. I guess it's just special to me because it's like, it's like a little special gift to myself from 5 years ago, and I guess that's the most special part about it.
Do you feel like it's almost like a level of self-improvement? So you're going back to these old ideas and, you know, adding everything you know now to it? Would you say?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think if I showed this to myself like 5 years ago, I'd be like, I don't know. I'd probably I probably wouldn't believe it. You know, I'd be like, huh? Like younger me would be like, oh, what the hell, man? You copied my show. You know. It's like I don't know. I don't think he'd believe that we'd make something like this. Like especially just like with how God the crew behind Manor. God, my crew. I love my crew so much. Like everyone's so talented.
Thank you.
I didn't
Thank
expect
you.
it. You're an exception, Fusion. You're not that talented, man. I'm sorry. Ah. No, but yeah. I think I don't know. I'm really happy now that I got like this crew to help me out because I definitely wouldn't have like Manor wouldn't have been, or it wouldn't have looked this good, wouldn't have sounded this good if it wasn't for like my team, obviously. And yeah, younger me would be ecstatic. He'd probably have like a heart attack. Yeah.
Finally.
I love hearing that. I genuinely do. It's awesome to hear someone be so proud of their creation because it is definitely something to be proud of. The Nightly Manor is one of the best object shows there is out there. You know, it's definitely so emotion driven. Whenever I watched it, it was you know, it almost felt like the emotions of the characters were obviously way more important than the whole first act murder scene because it was so interesting to see what these characters did after it and how it affected them mentally, and it's so in depth on everything. Is that what you wanted to focus the second part on, is just how everyone deals with it? What would you say is in the future for it?
Okay. This is like a weird thing. So not many, I don't know why, but not many people know that the Nightly Manor is based off of the Daily Object show, which is why like the first chapter is like it's really short. It's like 12 minutes long. But I knew that a part of me, like if I felt like, oh, I want to do a second chapter, I knew a part of me was gonna think that. So I started deleting some stuff, like some stuff in the chapter 1 script, and I started writing some stuff in so that it's a bit more, so it would be like a bit more open-ended, so I'd get a few more ideas for that. Yeah, no, so chapter 2 obviously is more emotionally driven of a show, and I know chapter 1 is a bit of a challenge to get into for like some people, you know, it's not for everyone, and I think that's like the fun in it, you know. It's not something everyone can get into, you know, so it's like its own little special thing for my own little special community for the Nightly Manor fans. It's fun. Yeah. And once you really get into it, you know, it's like it's like all the good stuff's like a little later on, so it's really rewarding when you finish the first chapter because you get like really beautiful stories from chapter 2. Like, oh, yeah. I didn't expect to be able to write that. Like, I had the ideas in my head, you know, and a lot of them turned out to be a lot more impactful than I thought it would be, you know. And I obviously didn't write it all by myself. I had a few friends to write it alongside with. I had Anthony, I had Lewis, I had Rival. Yeah, no, like all of us just like, I don't know, we didn't expect it. I didn't expect it, you know. And even then, there were like a few scenes there where we added all like a lot of those scenes like last minute. Like, there's that one scene with a sketchpad and pan flute, right? In part 4, where sketchpad's like cleaning out his office. I added that scene in like a day before, like, the episode was released. Oh wow! And it was like crazy. Yeah.
And then another scene I remember you added in last minute was it's like a popular scene. It's the one where spray paint comes out of the bar. Like who needs you guys anyway? Like wasn't that last minute as well?
Oh,
I think.
Wow.
Oh yeah. No, that's another funny thing with chapter 1 because it's like the the little like things in the in parts 1, 2, and 3 like sketchpads add GPS in the weird binary world or whatever, and like spray paint coming out of the bar. Yeah, all of those scenes I added in like days before the chapter 1 release, and God, that was such a grind. I was just doing it at my grandmother's house on my like laptop, and it was like it was so unbearably hard to like work with. But I pulled through and I got that, and those were my those were the what's it called, the catalysts for what stories would come out of chapter 2. So I guess with that in mind, I can't really spoil much, but chapter 2 is coming in. It's closing in. You know, it's getting really close to the end. We have one more slice of strife short, and then we have one final part, unless it gets too long and I decide to like split it off into 2. But yeah, no, this is the final part. The upcoming episode is the final part, and that's what you should be expecting. You should be expecting an ending.
Interesting. Can I ask what the binary land was inside of GPS's head in chapter 1? Or am I not allowed to ask that?
Well, no, you can't ask that, unfortunately.
No.
I haven't it's like it's not that I haven't written that part out yet, but it's also because I don't want to spoil it.
Ah,
You can ask me
okay.
though.
Yeah.
Ooh, interesting. So one point that you brought up there was that the first part isn't for everyone, which actually kind of surprised me. I felt like how quick the first part was actually went for its benefit, because everything happened so quick. You were on this ride with these characters, and when it was over, you didn't have time to breathe after it. And you're like, crap, all that just happened. So you're almost going through the same stress as all these characters do. Which, you know, causes a lot of emotion, which is my terrible transition to Anko. I'm going to be asking you questions now.
Oh my goodness.
So, they've already been on the channel before with the Roll of Objects interview. So this time we're not going to be asking you about Roll of the Objects, we're going to be asking you about the music creation.
Okay.
So, I want to know, how do you turn the emotions of a scene into the music? Could you go through the creation process of writing a song for the show?
Okay, well, actually, Alan didn't give me the scene necessarily for when I was writing the songs. He just kind of described like what was going on at that point in the story, and I basically just spent one night banging out all the songs I wrote for the show.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I just came up with all of them, chord lyrics, everything, just 3 demos. They were really short, but a lot of it was just me kind of feeling it out.
Oh wow. You know, it's kind of things I expected you to be like, oh yeah, I spent like months on this. I'm surprised it you know, it took as fast as it did, especially with how amazing the songs are. Well, what parts would you say really stand out to you?
Of the songs?
Yeah.
I mean, the chorus on "Be a Friend to Me" I knew was gonna be a hard hitter, and like, I'm so happy that it's done well for the show. I also really like the chord progressions on "Imaginary Friend." I'm glad I got to sing for that one.
Oh, I love Imaginary Friend. It's such a good song.
I mean, I will say like the writing process was made easier because Alan did give me a lot of good reference tracks to base, I guess, the writing off of, or like he did give me direction to a degree, to a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that. With a lot of things in Manor, I try to make sure that my crew members get as much flexibility as possible. Like I want to make sure that they have as much creative, well, I don't know what it's called. What's the term? Creative
Input?
input, I guess. Yeah, creative input, because it helps me a lot too, like when you mentioned be a friend to me, like I like the catchy chorus and stuff, like, and the songwriting with like how I didn't really give you much to work with, that like the lyrics in your song, like I will say it changed like quite a bit in part 5, because initially in part 5 I didn't really have anything for part 5. I had nothing actually. Like I just knew, okay, part 5 is gonna be about spray paint and mouth, and I already had it in my mind. Like, okay, they were homeless, but I was thinking, I don't know. I feel like that's way too flat of like a storyline to like think of, and I thought about it, and I really thought about it hard. I kept listening to "Be a Friend to Me," like the demo for "Be a Friend to Me," like on loop, and it gave me like the best idea to like do like a heist type of thing, and to like intertwine it with a speaker's story a bit as well. And it did so well because I feel like the story, like the message of the song, was like it got even. It was like, I don't know. I feel like the message of the song is like even more important now that I would like compared to what I initially had as a first draft for part 5. So it's
First draft.
that much creative freedom, like that much creative freedom really benefits the show in its entirety, because you get some really cool ideas from it, working with each other. It's like very everything's very codependent with each other.
I love that. I absolutely love the idea. You bounce off each other creatively. That's great. It's always awesome to actually hear. It's not always just one person's idea and everyone's working off it. It's like everyone's idea and everyone's getting ideas from each other, and I love that kind of thing. It definitely shows in the show's writing as well, and shows in everything, and especially in the animation. Which Fusion, you're next up. I'm so good at transitions. Fusion, are you ready for your question?
Yeah, Alan, you need me.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
So Fusion, you're most known for the Daily Object Show.
Yes.
Which is just beautiful. I love the Daily Object Show.
Thank you.
I must say, as your question, how is it like mastering different animation techniques for different writing styles? Because chapter 2 of the Nightly Manor is so different to the Daily Object Show, because one's really fast paced and one's slow and emotional. How would you say that the creative process is for mastering different writing styles in your animation?
I'd say if something's like slower, if something's meant to be a little more emotionally impact, I think you mainly need to focus more on how the characters, more in their faces, because like for something like the Daily Object Show, I mainly focus on like character poses, like in the bodies and everything, just to like drive home points really quickly. But with like the Nightly Manor, it's more, in terms of animation, I'd say it's more focused on the face. Like you want to make sure a character's eyes or their eyebrows or whatever, you want to make sure things fit the emotion, because I don't know, when a face is more animated, it looks more, you feel more in it. So I don't know, I'd say just more focus on the face and the animation is what helps drive the emotion, especially in the Nightly Manor chapter 2.
Oh yeah, I've definitely noticed that. Like, whenever other characters are talking, with people listening in, you can see their eyes move back and forth while they're kind of trying to concentrate or thinking. And it's, like, even them taking in different scenarios, you can tell that they're kind of trying to concentrate, or... It's so interesting to actually see, because I always pay attention to the facial expressions, and you can tell that a lot is going on beneath the eyes of them, and they don't just kind of stand there without any expression.
And that,
oh, sorry.
One other thing actually, that just came to mind. Another thing is with like the Nightly Manor, because you're trying to drive home the point more that they are like they're real characters, like there's more to them. You want to make them kind of talk and interact with each other like they were as if they were us, as if they were human. So like humans don't like throw their arms out over the place or like point in like absurd directions as they talk like every sentence. It's like with the Nightly Manor, I feel like it's a lot more like more laid back with like the arm movements or whatever, or the body language, just so that way it can help drive that point that like they are more like us.
Yeah.
Wasn't something like T-DOS where it's just like crazy poses wherever or whatever.
Yeah.
It's more based on the emotions behind them than
Yeah.
them bouncing around. I definitely feel like the show would be very different if they were all jumping around happy inside the manor.
Oh my god.
That's Sketchpad. That's Sketchpad's job, you know.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
Sketchpad.
that's what he's for.
I love him.
Yeah.
How is it? How do you animate Sketchpad? Because he has such a different movement to everyone else.
Okay. So yeah, no. Sketchpad is very obviously hand drawn.
Yeah.
But the creative process for him is so much easier in comparison to all the other characters, because he's like the scratchiest, like unpolished character ever. Like I do like 90% of the storyboards for Manor, and so all the characters have like placeholder bodies and stuff. So like they have like placeholder assets. So like they're like a black and white type of thing. But Sketchpad doesn't have one. And I just like I storyboard him like immediately. And in the final animation, it's still like the storyboard Sketchpad.
We don't bother
it's, like-
changing it. 'Cause Alan's is just perfect.
Oh wow.
so Sketchpad like throughout the storyboarding, the animation, backgrounds, and then the final animation, he stays like mostly the same like all throughout. It's so funny.
I love
Even
that.
though I want to say, like, even though it's like very crudely drawn, there is like a style. Like I know the two outer rings tend to be a bit bigger than the ones inside, and that's
Yeah, he's like a little Mickey Mouse kind of almost.
Yeah. He also has like his eyebrows continuously down. Or is that the best way to describe it? Like a more cool look to him, and his little walk animation is just adorable. I love Sketchpad, he's great. Is there any parts that is your favorite to animate? Like, what has been your favorite part to animate so far?
I guess we could both answer this, Anthony.
Yeah.
So you can go first.
I was gonna say you go first. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I gotta think too, man.
In part five, the part where during the heist at the opening of the episode, where there's like where Mouse like plugs herself in and like opens up the door.
Oh yeah.
A lot of that is like Alan's storyboard pretty much, but I just like took it and put it together as like an animated it and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I did it.
I definitely love
I
that.
don't know.
I don't know if he animated this part, but it was the little speech bubble character at the beginning where they're propelling like the plunger to the wall, and they turned into like the spike bubble real quick to push someone away.
That was Niall.
Oh yeah, that was done by Niall. I like asked him specifically because I knew if I did it, it's not that it wouldn't look as good. Like, it was just like I knew I'd like spend so much time on this because I'd spend too much time like being all petty and like, oh, okay, I gotta fix this motion so it looks right and stuff. So I just bounced it off to Niall, and it's like a small like 2-3 second section. So like I like obviously with that, like being a showrunner and all, you're a little more hands off with animation. Like I was a bit more hands off with animation, and like I don't know, it was a very weird experience for me personally because like I was so used to like animating everything all by myself, but I knew that I had to manage all these other parts of production. So like I had to like manage like storyboarding everything by myself, setting it up, sending it to everyone, audio editing, majority of it, like some light audio processing, some background direction, some music direction actually, and then actually putting the episodes together. So yeah, that's why I handed it off to Niall, because I had all of that to think about. And I guess I should also talk about what my favorite scene to animate was. Oh gosh, like I know in parts 4 and 5 I didn't have all too much to animate either. I was pretty hands off with animation too, but I did take the longest scenes in parts 4 and 5. I took the highest scene in part 5, and I took the entirety of Between You and Me in part 4, except for like
God,
little
the
juggling
count's
animation
so
that
good.
Niall did. Yeah, God, I had so much fun with Between You and Me. It was so fun. Just like it's such a nice dynamic. Top Hat and Sketchpad. I think it's one of my favorite ones.
Oh yeah, that's great.
I don't know. I knew that I knew that like I had to have an episode. I had to have an episode. Like I have to, you know. Like in my head, like after chapter 1, I said to myself, okay, if I'm doing a chapter 2, the first episode should be about Top Hat and Sketchpad. No doubt about it. And you know, we got something beautiful out of it. You know, in part 4, there wasn't even meant to be a montage. You know, it was like oh, that's another funny story. God, music plays such a big part in Manor. I was writing part 4, and originally what I had in mind was just like a little sequence of like Sketchpad and Top Hat in like a hardware store, and they were like shoplifting, and Sketchpad was like behind like Top Hat, like the little hold part of Top Hat, and he'd like stick his little hand out and just like start stuffing stuff into Top Hat, and then they'd be at the counter, and Top Hat would be like comically large and like bulging out and stuff, like he's like very obviously like all stretched out, and all this stuff would like come spewing out of him, and be like, and Sketchpad would be like, run, and then he like grabs a shopping cart and runs away with like all the hardware store stuff. But while I was writing that, I was listening to Mr. Blue Sky, and it like showed up on my Spotify playlist. Well, like, and I was just like, I was just reading that entire section out, and I was thinking, you know, this would make for a really good montage sequence. And I asked someone to make it for me. It was by Clem, and wow, Clem did so good with like the montage thing.
Absolutely.
The first demo that she sent me, I actually put in one of the Slice of Strife shorts, and you can hear it when Folder is like driving in their car, and not many people knew that because it was like a very, very early version of the song. But yeah, no, that was really cool, and I'm glad there were some people who noticed that like a year later.
I wanted to mention the going back to like the montage. You should talk about the shopping cart scene. The shopping cart, Sketchpad's face.
Sketchpad's face. Oh my god. Okay. So if you look at the what was it in the part where it's like, although I'm not quite there. Okay, you can see like Top Hat and Sketchpad like strolling into the park, and if you look close enough, you can see like Sketchpad with he has like a Peter Griffin face. Yeah, okay. So there's another funny story behind this one. It was me and Cheesy HFJ, the guy who made one, and we were just placing I don't know which one, man.
What's that?
No, but I don't know what one is. It's whatever. No, but me and Cheesy were like playing a game. It was like it was called like What Are the Odds? And we were like making bets. Like, okay, I think I was like, Cheesy, what are the odds that you just cancel one right now? And he said, 1 in 100. And obviously I like lost. And Cheesy was like, all right, Alan, what are the odds that you put a Peter Griffin face in any part of the episode of the Nightly Manor? And I said, all right, I'm feeling daring. So I said, all right, man, let's do 1 in 3. And I guess I lost that bet.
The rest is history.
The rest is history, and that we have a Peter Griffin sketch pad.
I'm actually looking back in the episode now. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How did I never see that? That's great.
Yeah, you have cheesy to thank for that.
You should have made the bet to have Ari just as his first appearance to have a Peter Griffin face.
Oh my lord.
That would be so annoying.
Do you know how
Gosh.
much pain you caused me? I just got the contestants to watch Family Guy.
I'm really sorry about that.
It's like a Family Guy thing where Peter's like apologizing. I'm really sorry, guys. I really messed up here. God.
No, it's like one of those Family Guy emotional scenes where like the camera starts zooming in and the sad music starts playing. And he's
Yeah,
just,
and there's like shading now, like in the characters and stuff, and there's like lighting.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
beautiful.
I'm really sorry,
But
guys.
yeah, that-
I've been a real jerk.
I think we've all learned something today. What do you mean we've all learned something today? I haven't seen my family in weeks. You see,
Yeah.
that's something we've learned today.
It's the next episode of Manor. It's a Family Guy episode.
I'm quoting you on that.
No, but that's that. Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the final person, Lego. Now, you have also worked on BFB. Am I
Yeah.
correct? Yeah.
Yes.
So, I want to ask you about that and obviously about the Nightly Manor, and I wanted to wrap it up into one thing. So, I genuinely want to know, what is your history with audio editing and how did you get into it?
So it was, I know I initially, part of it was doing theater in high school. I was like a big person with like lighting and sound. My brother was like really known for like doing lighting design, and then I like, it was like a grandfathered in kind of thing where it's like, oh, he's good, he'll be good too, and I like that did tend to happen. So I came in, like my brother and I really just like changed the game of our school in terms of like what was possible.
Oh,
So, and I can actually, what a lot of the stuff I did, I'm really proud of. My senior year, my final show, it was called Proof, and I was making music and sound design for it, but this was like right before COVID, or it was during COVID. No, right before COVID happened. So I never got to, we had one performance, but we had to cancel the show due to it, and I had this track that I never found a purpose for, and I ended up reusing that during the Nightly Manor because it was during the jail scene with Spray Paint and Mouse. That track is the exact same one I used like 2 years prior, theater production.
that's
So
cool.
I think I was like, yeah. In terms of, but getting back to the question, in terms of how I got into sound, yeah, from theater. I started doing sound, I believe 2017, 18. I think Object Invasion, when I was
gonna
working on
cry.
that- yeah. No, when I never even auditioned for the show. I think it was Gene was like had a video of like the Object Invasion, like screen recording the Object Invasion Discord, and the link to the Skype group was on the video, so I just joined that and no one questioned it.
You're here now.
But yeah, that's when I kind of started like doing it, and then what Gene had a show, Anything Ever, that was unreleased, and it's, I think a few videos of that are on his channel, but
Oh, I
was, like,
animated for that. I remember that.
yeah, I was
Me too.
like in charge of like sound and like voice actors, and then I just kind of like worked up. Like I was doing Oso, I was doing a couple scenes, and then I remember the auditions for BFB came out. I was like, I'll give it a shot. I think I could probably do it. And then, like, I remember it was like about a week into COVID, and it was like 3 in the morning. I was in bed, and I get an email. It's like, congratulations, you're on the crew. And I was like, no way.
Wow.
And that was, and then it just kind of like evolved from there. I started getting audio processing, but now I do so much for so many different shows, and it's definitely something I want to do with my life, like just fully design and just like sound and audio. It's like it's a huge part of me, and it's like one of my big creative outlets. So
That's awesome.
I know whenever I know Alan would assign me, or I would pick the the harder scenes to do, which would envelop like lots of like complex sound effects, like the in part or chapter 1, the explosion scene. I was like really excited to do that because we had, I know initially there was like, because what I'm trying to remember what came first. It was the sound came first before, like, there's no storyboard for that scene, right?
There's no storyboard yet, yeah.
Yeah, so I had to like kind of figure out how to choreograph this. And I remember one of the earlier versions, there was like, it was like, or we had a couple, I guess I had a couple ideas in mind, but it was like, I knew it was like, oh, GPS was gonna be chasing them. And then, like getting the fight, like the spray paint and GPS fight, was a bit of a challenge. So I needed to know, like, how long is this fight gonna last? What's the outcome? Like when Sketchpad breaks down the door, I was originally gonna have the GPS scream like, no! That was gonna be like the moment before GPS opens the door. But I think that was too much of a climax of the scene compared to what's gonna happen later, so we scrapped that.
Yeah.
But then, like, one of my favorite parts will always be the countdown to the explosion.
Oh,
just like
yeah.
the overlapping of stuff. It's just like, ooh. And then like the low bass, like the rumbling, like the moment of silence before the explosion will always be so cool. Like that's probably just like one of my favorite scenes ever.
Oh yeah, it was so chilling. It was just the sudden stop and then the countdown and then the silence after for like a second, and you're like, God, don't explode. It's so well done. It's definitely one of the, like, the audio in that is incredible, as you said. Like just even the scream you brought up with the no scream, but it's this unhuman, creepy, biotic scream that, you know, it's so spine chilling and such an intense scene.
Yeah.
You did really, really
Oh,
well.
dude, Brayden, I just remembered something. I think in one of those like audio clips of like me, I of like GPS like
Yeah.
like glitching out and
Yeah.
stuff. I think there was like one part in there where I was like swearing and you like just like censored
Yes.
it somehow,
So-
and it still made it into the episode.
Oh,
So initially there was only one line from GPS that like entire scene, and it was the no. That was the only thing recorded. So I had to figure out how to get GPS talking in other parts, because I was like, I knew GPS was like, you know, glitched or whatever, and I wanted it to be like very distinct from the rest of the episode. So I took, you know, like old lines that weren't used, and even like test recording, like animation like tests. I know Alan uploaded one on like Twitter where he's like, it's like a GPS test. Wait. Oh yeah, no, it was a
It was like a filter test, I think.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
you know, it was a filter test. Yeah. No, yeah, oh yeah, no, it was a filter test.
It was
And then he's like, "Oh, what the heck? What was that?" And then I just took like the first half of that and like incorporated it, but no one. I mean, like I distorted it so much you can't even tell he's like swearing.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
that would be the only swear, I guess. But just like messing
Beautiful,
around
man.
with the filter was like so much fun. I love doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
It sounds like
Yeah.
you're all very talented and very. You really put your hard work into this show, and it really shows. Like, watching it is such a joy, and it's so cool to be able to actually be able to talk to all of you. But now
Yeah.
it's time for the fan questions. So, pretty epic. One, two, three, four, five, six, 8 questions for all of you to answer. The first
Let's
one
go.
is a fan, but it's actually my personal friend Dewey. So if you all want to say hello to Dewey.
I do.
I
Was
do.
good.
They asked if you had to pick one character to be roommates with from the Nightly Manor, who would you pick?
I feel this is obvious.
Hmm.
Well, I'm not picking
Top
Top Hat.
Well, I'm picking Sketchpad.
Yay!
Oh, hell no. What? No. Don't pick Sketchpad. He's looking up destroy everything in your house and everything you belong, like everything
Yeah,
that
but that's-
belongs to you.
Well, yeah, but you can. Oh, never mind.
He's fine.
But you can shoplift stuff like without any like without any like
That is true.
any like negative outcome, you know? No consequences.
A positive thing
Because
is
he
also-
seems to have that like aura around him, you know, like people who like around him just get like dumber somehow and just don't care about him.
I feel like if you need to get something from the store, I feel like if you need anything, like Sketchpad will just do it. Like if you need something from the store, you could just ask him and he'll just like go and be back in like 5 seconds.
Yeah, no,
He'll
you like
find
ask
a way.
Sketchpad to get you like some Himalayan salt, and he'll like be gone for like 4 days and come back with like salt from like the Himalayan mountains or something.
There's nothing stopping him.
Yeah. Here it is.
Exactly.
The question, I'd probably pick Folder because they're very caring, and I know it would help around.
Folder is very caring, yeah. They would make a good roommate. But they
You know who else is quite caring? Bamboo Flute.
Oh, pan flute. I wouldn't want to live with him. He'd talk about like he'd just talk crap about everyone, you know.
I would have to agree on the Sketchpad one. Sketchpad would be adorable as a roommate. Plus, you could just tell them to do whatever you want and they would go out to the shop and get it for you. Just be like, sure thing, pal. And then just walk out and then you wouldn't see him for a month and he would come back with it.
Yeah.
He
I feel like I'd accidentally step on him.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Like a cockroach.
Okay, but keep it. Okay, but
Cockroach
keep.
from Wally.
Okay, but keep in mind he is pretty strong. He did lift up Top Hat.
Oh, yeah, true.
That is.
And he broke and he tore that door down like it was nothing in chapter 1. He got really
Yeah.
upset.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that actually reminded me of this Sketchpad's little face seeing Speaker dead. It made me really sad. I think whenever, like, I was watching the first part, I was so concerned on if anything upset Sketchpad. I'm just like, oh, poor wee child. It's adorable. Anyway.
Poor Sketchpad.
The next question is from Boy Bollock. Would you consider having an old Object Manor character return?
Probably not as a main character. Like I've had some characters like show up like or like be mentioned, like old Object Manor characters. Like I've had Domino from the first like Object Manor get like a little redesign, and he was the one that was like with Ring at the Glimmering Palace, Shimmering Palace, whatever.
Oh,
I remember when that happened. I remember you were shocked. People were actually like excited about that. It's cool.
Yeah, a lot of people were really happy about that. And
People like that stuff.
another small thing people haven't really noticed was Sync was mentioned in part 5 as well. Because if you look at the billboard, like at the start of the heist montage, it says 555 sync. Whoa, that's incredible. So that, I guess that leaves like what, like hash brown, keyboard, palette, and like paper plate, who haven't been mentioned at all yet. I mean,
Hash
we'll
Brown's
see
first
if we can
appearance
get
is just
them
her
in.
dead.
No, hash brown like shows up like on a platter, like at a breakfast diner.
Oh my god.
You should have
Yeah.
the characters like pass like a memorial for Hash Brown or something. Little gravestone or something.
Oh my god.
God, poor hash brown. No, but yeah, again with the part 5 thing, there are still a lot of things people haven't like pointed out, and that's the fun part of it. I hope people find the little things like soon, because I'm just itching to. I'm itching for people to find it. Like there's so much put into this episode, like visually. It's crazy. It's so cool.
Yeah, I'll definitely rewatch all of it and try to have a more open eye to actually see the little background details. But the next question is from Zach Gaming Reactions, and I don't know if you're going to answer this, but they say, if people can't get recovered in the Nightly Manor universe, then how does Battle for Dream Island exist within it?
Okay, so I actually can't explain that because it would be a spoiler, but
Okay.
yeah, I can confirm. Like here are some things I can confirm. Like it's like that are based around that question. Like yeah, no, recovery isn't something that's like possible in this universe. Like in the Nightly Manor universe, it just can't happen.
Okay.
Even the recovery center that they built, like that sketchpad and speaker, that sketchpad and top hat build, I guess it would have worked if it was like a different universe, but in here it just wouldn't. Even if like sketchpad spelled it correctly, like spelled like speaker's name correctly, it wouldn't have worked in that universe. It just wouldn't have. Yeah. I know that was like a lot of people's like theories where it's like, oh, sketchpad spelled speaker wrong, so maybe that's why it didn't work and it blew up.
Wait,
No, it's
Alan.
not
Wait, Alan. Did people think BFDI is in the same universe as this? Cool, because it's like, I always imagine, isn't it just BFDI is just like a show in this universe or whatever?
Oh,
Like-
well, we have something planned for that, but
I
should've
don't
mentioned
know about that. So whatever.
it. No, we do. Don't, you just forgot.
You cock.
Hey,
Swearing on my Christian channel, how could you? But yeah, I think a lot of people were a little confused by that because I know that Sketchpad was talking about Woody, like Woody's
Oh, yeah.
powers. So I know
Yeah.
that opened a lot of theories, and I definitely had my own theories on my own.
yeah, it opens up a lot of discussion when you don't talk about stuff like this and just keep it like, wait, why is it like that? You know?
Yeah.
It's like, it makes for great. It opens up a lot of topics about the show, and that's why I don't want to. That's why I don't talk about it too much. But you know, this is an interview, so you know, it's fine.
Okay. So, the next question is by Nicola. And they ask everyone, what is your favorite scene from Nightly Manor? Very broad question, but you have to pick a part that comes to your head immediately.
My answers are all going to be really basic. Like the be a friend to me scene with spray paint was really well executed. That really sticks out to me.
Between you and me,
Okay.
just the shopping montage.
Oh, the shopping montage is great.
That was my second answer.
Yeah.
Alan, Lego.
I'm trying to think what mine would be. Rated.
What? Oh, you still thinking? I probably would say the ending of chapter 1.
Oh,
This is the like
Oh,
all of it, all animation, audio, all of it. It's like, mwah.
mhm. I think mine's like a tie for. Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, I was always gonna
you,
say
you can go ahead.
part 4. The where Top Hat and Sketchpad are on the hill. Nice, emotional,
That is a good scene.
beautiful.
oh, very nice scene.
Alan.
Hmm.
If you can't think of one off the top of your head, don't worry. We can move on to the next one.
We'll pick one for you.
We'll just choose a random
No,
answer.
because
The
it's like
Sketchpad ad.
it's like a
That's yours.
no, no. Okay, no. But seriously, it's like a tie between like Top Hat and GPS's conversation in part 4, or like just Top Hat talking to himself basically, or Spray Paint and Mouse in the jail scene. I like them both for like, cause I like them both because it's like it's very raw, like unfiltered writing for me, because it's like a lot of it's like really awkwardly written, and I think that really helps like those scenes out, because like with Spray Paint and Mouse, it's not like, if you really look into the lines, it's not like a very like impactful, like it's not well written, you know. It's like it's just two friends going through something. Like Mouse clearly clearly knows and understands that like Spray Paint's going through something, you know. Just give him some time and just be there for him, you know. And with Top Hat and GPS, that's like probably one of the hardest scenes to like write. Like, it was really hard for me to write at first, because it's like I need to know what it feels like to like be in that situation, you know. And it's really hard when you haven't had that. Yeah, you have to be really careful with stuff like that. And I don't know, I feel like I didn't have the I don't know, I feel like I had no place in writing that, but I still had to, because I knew this was something that I had to have in the episode. And I really focused on this part. I did like a lot of research on this, or I just did like a lot of binging through like movies, I guess, you know, about it, around it. Yeah.
Well, definitely shows the scene is really impactful. Yeah, you've all done a really great job on all your scenes. We have 2 questions left. So this one should be a pretty easy one. Who's everyone's favorite character?
Oh my gosh. Spray paint.
Ooh,
Yeah.
interesting.
I think after. Sorry, someone over the door. I think after part 5, I really do empathize with Spray Paint a lot. As someone who wants to do good, but hasn't found the outlet to do it.
Yeah.
It's okay though. He had a nice happy ending on that park bench. That was the
They all
end.
lived happily ever after.
That is
And
true.
a nice big bed.
I know that actually a lot of people before that part came out was like devastated that Spray Paint was, you know, dead. Well, at least they thought he was dead. So a lot of people were really devastated about him, and then I know that a lot of people were really happy to see him alive in the hospital. Which I
Oh
was
my
as
God.
well. I loved seeing him actually survive.
I completely disagree.
Really?
If anything, dude, if anything, he is in a fate worse than death. Or, dude, he's like, I don't know. He's damaged. He doesn't even have Mouse anymore, who was the only person who he had, pretty much. Like, I don't know. To me, that's just like that's just worse than death. Like, you're still. I mean, as like the song says, even like, you're gone, or she's gone, or whatever, and she's just still here.
Oh,
He has to keep going.
God, yeah, that does actually have a whole new light to that scene then. You know, I was just so happy to see him there, but I was like, crap. You know,
When Alan,
Yeah.
sorry, when Alan first told me that idea, I genuinely would just call him evil. Like that is so. That is such. Oh my god! I still can't believe that ending is like out there now. Like it's like it gets finished. That's crazy.
That was one of the best. That was one of the most kept secrets. Like I think before it was even animated, only like a few people knew. So like,
Yeah.
Even when when we first heard the finished song, it made it like knowing what the context was to that, it just made it hit harder, and we're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Evil.
Okay. I was showing it around to like a select few like crew members, and when like the reactions were all so good. Like there were like some people who were like, oh my god, it's like, you know, like there's like that one picture Brina used to send where it's like the guy and he looks really like surprised and just like a standing banana. They like that was like the reaction. You should look for that image and send it later. It's such a funny image.
Doesn't the guy look like Markiplier in that picture?
He kind of does, yeah.
God, yeah, that is a dark scene now. The more I think about it, I'm like, why was I happy he's alive?
Oh,
You monster.
Yeah, no, but I do like putting my main characters in the worst situations possible.
Oh, we know.
I'm a little evil. No, but back to the question. My favorite character is Pan Flute because he's just so mean to everyone. He's like he's just such a mean character. I don't know. He's so he's so mean. He's also from like a really not known fact. He's from a cancelled little series that I had in mind in 2020, where it was like it was a very lighthearted like thing. It was just like 3 animations that intertwined with each other, and I would like upload them 3 separate days. But I didn't go through with it because Manor came up, you know, like me and Rival just one day just thought, yeah, we should make this, you know, let's write a script, let's get this going, you know.
Yeah.
So I dropped it completely, and Pan Flute lay dormant for like 2 more years or another year before he showed up again. So I'm very happy he showed up. I'm glad I got to use him. And the voice actor, oh my gosh, God, Aiden does such a good voice for Pan Flute. He sounds like such a jerk. Yeah.
You know
He's a living hater.
You know what you need to do. You need to have a little short where it's this dramatic like recovery montage of spray paint recovering, maybe finally getting over mouse, and then they just walk out of the hospital and get hit by a car and die. And that's it.
no, imagine it's Pan Flute. The car.
Pan Flute's
Like,
like,
get out of the way!
Yes.
It'd be a horrible It'd be a great April Fool's prank.
Okay, so the final question.
Oh, I didn't.
Sorry. Did someone not say?
My answer was gonna be really basic. Sketchpad, I like that he's a funny little guy. Next.
You know, I was gonna say. You know, I'm surprised you all didn't go Sketchpad. Sketchpad's just the best.
I just think that like you can have a good show without a funny little guy, but a lot of good shows have a funny little guy, and I am a lover of funny little guys. So
it's just there.
I love him.
Funny little guy. So,
Neat little fella.
the final question is, if the Nightly Manor was a competition show, who do you think would win?
Do the viewers get to
Sketch.
vote?
Sketchpad wouldn't win. He would be the host. 100%. He would be the host.
Oh
you're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You're like,
Hmm.
hey guys. Okay.
Well, obviously, Pamphlet would get like first or second boots because he's like such a jerk. You know.
I don't know. I just feel like GPS and spray paint are like. I feel like audiences would just click with them and they'd be like an obvious final two or whatever.
I would have put
Yeah.
spray paint in final 2, yeah.
I feel like Spray
Yeah.
Paint would have a redeeming last boot.
Oh my god!
And
Imagine
then
a
Speaker would be an underdog. You guys think Speaker as an underdog?
Ooh.
Dude, imagine imagine a GPS and spray paint final two in some hypothetical competition show, and it's like GPS is like corrupted like how he was in TNM or whatever.
Oh, that'd be
I don't
cool.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I would love to actually, see an alternate reality where it was a competition show or something, like a really dark one where it's just you get murdered if you're eliminated. But
Squid Game.
Squid Game, yeah, God,
Squid Games.
Netflix has already stolen it.
No.
But yeah, I think we're gonna get ready to wrap up. But before we do, I want to ask you all: is there any tips you would give to any object show creator that wants to base their object show more on a heavy story? This is mostly for myself.
I see. Okay. Okay. Well, if I had anything, if I had any sort of advice to give, it's to just obviously make something that you yourself are gonna be satisfied with or gonna be happy with, but just still have fun with it. It's nothing. You shouldn't take it as seriously. Unless it's something that's really serious. If it's about something really heavy, definitely get serious about it. But just make sure that you're still having fun when you're writing your show. That's all that really matters. It's to make stuff. That's my favorite thing about the OSC. It's such an interesting community, being able to pump out full-fledged shows just because of how it works. It's so easy to compared to other communities, it is so much easier to pump stuff out when it comes to the OSC.
That is
the
true.
Beauty of it. That's the beauty of it, and it opens up for so many possibilities, so many different possibilities.
I'm glad in
that's
the past few years
awesome.
that's kind of happened. In the past few years, we've seen so many more dynamic or new types of shows. But
Yeah, all these new art styles, new stories. It's crazy.
I don't know. Going off what you said though, I'd say if you want, if you have events in your shows that you want to be more serious with, you want them to have more of an impact, make sure that those events really impact the characters. Think about how the characters are gonna deal with it after or while it's happening. I think that's the best way to shake up a show if that's what you're going for. Just make sure that the serious things that do happen, make sure that they have an impact. They really last, and the characters they deal with it. I don't know.
Make everything
Yeah.
have an overwhelming consequence to how they see the world.
Or even use one event to foreshadow some other event. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I
I would-
definitely appreciate all the tips. Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
It's all good. I mean, I'm just kind of reinforcing the other statements. I would say if you're making an object show, or really any art project, make it for you before you make it for anyone else. Don't worry so much about how it's going to be received by the audience, and because if you're not happy with it first, you're never going to be happy with it.
Do you
Yeah.
think
Absolutely.
Michael or Carrie did that for BFDI? Most likely not. I don't know. I can't speak for them, but you need to just make something.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I definitely, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but I definitely do have a plan for an object show. I've already made silly ones, but I want to really get one that kind of branches off like a zombie apocalypse kind of thing that kind of goes off the Telltale Walking Dead series.
Oh, I love that.
Oh yeah, I wanna get something about this guy that is just perfectly normal, like religious guy that goes through like this heavy trauma of slowly losing their friends and the world crumbling around them, to see this man's mental health deteriorate, and then in season 2 see if it's even possible to rebuild normality, and have the same kind of structure as like a Telltale game that's The Walking Dead. So it's definitely something that all your tips I'll take in mind whenever I'm creating that. So thank you very much for all the info.
Yeah.
Of course.
But yeah, it was great talking to you all.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
This was nice. This was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Thank
great.
you so much. It was fun. It was really fun.
Well, I'll see you guys all later.
Yay.
We
Cheers.
finally did it.
All
Let's
right.
go.
See ya.
Can you tell me more about him?
It's just odd to me. I had never imagined he would do that.
A lot of people would say that.
I know, but I just don't believe it. In a few hours he just turns into a murderer? It's hard to wrap your head around it all.